93.7 The Ticket for the LIBA Business Hour, as we discuss local business and highlight those who are thriving in the Lincoln area. It's the LIBA Business Hour, Saturdays from 9 to 10 a.m. on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide?
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
Well, at least with Austin. Strick was here. You heard him on the crossover with Happy Hour, but I don't know where he disappeared to. That's all right. I'll hold it down till my partner gets in here. I am Austin Norman. I will be joined by Eric Strickland. Really appreciate y'all tuning in here to On the Block. We do this show every weekday from 2 to 4 here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com. We are on 4 social media platforms, at least for the live shows: Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter. Make sure you give us a follow, give us a like. That's the easiest way for you to make sure you don't miss any sort of 93.7 The Ticket content. We are also posting clips on Instagram and TikTok. So again, if you're on those platforms, if your kids are on those platforms, your nieces, nephews, grandchildren, whoever it is, give us a like, give us a follow. We are all over the place. It is absolutely impossible to miss us. It's easy to miss Mary Ellen's because it's not open 2 days a week, but they're back open today. They were open yesterday. Get yourself some. They're down at 27th and Pine Lake here in Lincoln, Nebraska. Stricky's a big fan of the sweet
Not easy to
wings.
miss. I'm headed out there as soon as we're done with Thirsty Thursday.
Well, it's easy to miss because it's closed 2 days, but
right,
it's easy to find,
especially on Wednesdays.
Oh yeah,
once it starts off. Big road game too, so might as well go down there and pick some up this weekend as well. Take it back to the home and kind of do a tailgate at the house and just enjoy it as well. Sonia, as well as Charles, you'll be seeing me today. Sweet Southern Heat, I'm coming. Let's go.
Save him some.
Yeah.
Save us some of your thoughts. Give them to us, 402-464-5685. That's the Starter Heyman text line, as well as the Honda of Lincoln hotline. In about half an hour or so, I want you to light up that Honda of Lincoln hotline. We're playing the shootout with Strick. We'll do that again, 2:45. We do that on Tuesdays and Thursdays. All right, Strick, first topic of the day. Some big news in the college basketball world. The season gets underway officially on Monday. That's when play opens up. But it'll be the first season in a long time without at least the presence of Bob Knight, who officially passed away at age 83. What a saga. What a life in a lot of ways. One of the more complex characters, I think, not just in college basketball, not just in the game of basketball, but in all of sports. I can tell you my reaction, Strick. I didn't really grow up with a whole lot of Bob Knight. I knew he was Texas Tech's head coach. I knew he had been at Indiana. I knew he started at Army. I knew he had this big old coaching tree. The side of Bob Knight that I always knew was legendary sideline guy. He's going to rant. He's going to rave. He threw the chair, all that. And, as I got older, I learned about the, treatment of players and the words and his attitude and approach. But reading the obituaries about Bob Knight, yes, all of that came out. But the fact that he was so loyal to his guys, that there was never an NCAA, rule broken under his watch that Indiana or Texas Tech was on notice for. I sold Bob Knight short. I viewed him as that character, the very public facing part, the acrimony, the venom, that part. That's what I saw. But I think that was a good reminder to me that there's always another side to a person. If you see the good, there might be something lurking. If you see the bad, there's good in there somewhere.
I think it's a testament of, and it works both ways, right? Mm-hmm. There are some coaches that on the sideline during their games or their seasons where they look very stoic, they look very poised, but then you get them in a practice or you get them behind the scenes, it can change a little bit. I think Bobby Knight is one of those guys that he was the same all the way across the board. Like, I don't think that he was one of those guys that you saw one side of him and a different side of him, but you knew he cared. That was the one thing. You knew he cared, you knew he was going to fight for you, and you knew that he was going to get the best out of you. And guys like Isaiah Thomas, who played for him, would tell you that. They would tell you that, a strong-headed, mean-streaked Chicago kid needed someone like Bobby Knight to bring something to the game for him, discipline, and to teach him how to do things in a professional manner, in a way. And because there's the one thing that a lot of people don't understand. There's a difference between street ball and
basketball.
They call it there's a name for it, where you're playing organized. Organized ball. There's a difference. And, people say all the time, well, there's a lot of guys that should have been there that couldn't, because there was areas of their life, there was areas that they dealt with where they didn't have the discipline, they didn't have the work ethic. Yes, they were super talented, but there were just areas in their games that just kind of hindered them. And Bobby Knight was the one that was going to pull the best out of you at all times.
Because that's what he did with himself, right? Was he refused to lose. He, came from not a lot in the basketball world, really worked his way up. He demanded the best of himself. He demanded the best from you. I mean, reading some of the stories and the quotes from former players, in the moment, a lot of them hated it. Like, they wanted to quit. They wanted to walk out many, many times, but they knew deep down, like you said, that he cared. He was doing what was best for them. And
he was going to back you.
He was.
Like, there's no one that could come at you, say something about you, do something to you, that he was not going to be 100% in your back. He was never going to put you under the bus. He was going to challenge you, but he was never going to throw you under the bus. And that's something that you can appreciate out of a coach.
The easy comparison, I think, to draw would be Bobby Knight is Indiana's Tom Osborne. In some ways, great coach, helped build a lot, took him to
different demeanors.
New heights.
Different demeanors.
Yes, different demeanors. But that plays into this next part. I think as Nebraska fans, as observers, you kind of have to realize how lucky, blessed we are that there hasn't been a big falling out like that, right? Maybe the closest we got was Bo Pelini, but he's not on Bobby Knight or Tom Osborne's level. Like, just think about, I think it's hard for Nebraska fans to put themselves in Indiana fans' shoes about the hurt that was caused when Bobby Knight was fired, when he made all those comments about that university, when he refused to come back, and then the healing that took place when he moves back to Bloomington because it felt like home. He makes that appearance with Isaiah and all those other guys on the court a few years ago. I don't think Nebraska fans truly have a frame of reference for those moments and everything they encapsulated.
Yeah, and I don't know how to explain it, but I could say it's very similar to possibly to what happened with the Fab Five in Michigan, where there was some animosities there was some hurt there was some disappointment there. They were looked at in a certain way, but yet they gave you what they had, and they put you on a map, that at the time just wasn't part of the culture of Michigan basketball. It was very dominant of the football. They created a basketball atmosphere. And then there was just some animosities, not only amongst themselves, but also some hurts that they had towards the university. And you just hope that can be cleared up in a similar way to what Bobby Knight had to do, or was able to do with Indiana. That's happened in other places. I mean, I don't think it's as bad like with Roy Williams, right. Obviously going over to North Carolina, and then just what he was able to do in tenure that he was there at Kansas. I don't think it's the same, but I'm happy, and I think Bobby lived a great life. I would say that I think he did it his way.
Start to finish.
From start to finish. He did it his way, and just we celebrate him, and we're grateful for the legacy that he provided. Coached some great ones, from your, like I said, Isaiah, your Calvert Cheneys, and
Keith Smart, Steve Alford.
Yeah. One of the better ones I got a chance to play against, gosh darn it. gosh, he was a white point guard. Oh gosh. Ooh, his name just is he was an All-American too. I got to play against him in the CBA actually, and was gosh, my mind it is blowing my mind right now. You guys may know who I'm talking about. He was just a year before me. Gosh, darn
This
it.
is sorted alphabetical. Let's see if I can sort it by year here real quick. Let's see. Would it have been
It is just blowing me right now.
Jay Edwards?
No.
AJ Guyton?
No, he was a white point guard. Can shoot it like he was very JJ Redick-ish before JJ Redick. He was an Indiana Mr. Basketball. It would have been, I want to say either 90 or 90 or 91 maybe.
All right, let's see. I have the Indiana Mr. Basketball list pulled up. I'm scrolling. Okay, so 88, Woody Austin.
No.
89, Pat Graham.
No.
90, Damon Bailey.
There it is. Like
Damon Bailey.
It probably, if Damon Bailey doesn't have an injury, I think he ends up with a knee. Yes, on the Sauter Heyman text line. Thank you. You guys caught it. Damon Bailey. If he doesn't get injured, he's probably JJ Redick-ish. He had a stroker. Like he was like Jimmy Fredette-ish, JJ Redick-ish. Yeah, I'm saying he was really good like that. Didn't have the career that he had, just I think due to injuries, but he got to coach some great ones. Yeah.
And he was a great one.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know, one of the first great basketball coaches, leaves a legacy that we'll be talking about for a long time.
To me, Bobby Knight was for me, the closest thing I think to Bobby Knight I had was Don Nelson. Like Don Nelson was mild-mannered.
Big Don.
But Big Don. Don Nelson was mild-mannered, but boy, if he got into you, he meant it. Like he wasn't going to take no qualms, and if he needed to get him up with you, he would. You know, like he was not like scared of you. You know, like okay, this is what you want. He would go. Now he was like the enforcer back with the Boston Celtics. So to me, Bobby Knight was like my Don Nelson. Yeah,
I like that. A couple things from the text line. OG Les Lancaster says his older cousin played for Bob at Indiana.
Oh, Steve Harford too. Yeah, we said that.
Yeah.
Thanks, Damon.
I said OG Les Lancaster's cousin hardly ever came off the bench, but Bob Knight still showed up to his wedding like a handful of years after he left college.
Yeah,
we hear those stories too about that loyalty, that care that Bob Knight. If you're one of his guys, you were one of his guys, and it's hard to break that.
No doubt.
So rest in peace to a legend. We'll see if they actually bury him upside down like his request was. But Indiana basketball, part of the Big Ten family, our hearts go out to you, and we hope that you're able to handle it. And it's a big loss for that community, that state.
Well, especially with the basketball season coming into play, you better believe that they're probably going to have something to celebrate him and his legacy. Something may go in the rafters if it's not already there, or something like that. There's no question.
We'll wait and see. They got to do something. He's Strick. I'm Austin. This is On the Block. We'll switch gears. The Rangers win the World Series. Maybe talk a little bit about that, but plenty of professional franchises have never won a championship in MLB, NFL, or NBA. Who's next? Who are our picks? Why do we think it? Give us yours on the text line 402-464-5685. We'll discuss that and more next.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
What is Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union? It's more. More earning, more freedom, more rewards. With Kasasa Cash, you earn up to 5.5% APY, and your rewards begin instantly from a penny up to $40,000, all without monthly service fees. Plus, Kasasa Cash at Liberty First Credit Union gives you more ATMs nationwide. When you want more, you want Kasasa Cash. Visit libertyfirstcu.com for details. Federally insured by NCUA. Liberty First Credit Union. Banking with purpose. Account qualifications apply.
Join Planet Fitness now and get the PF Black Card for only $24.99 a month. You'll enjoy an upgraded experience with tons of perks.
Like access to more than 2,000 locations worldwide.
Yep.
And massage chairs?
Yes.
Can I bring a friend every time?
Sure.
Can my friend be a horse?
Nay. Sorry. Get the PF Black Card and feel fit-tacular. Only $24.99 a month. Our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, is your ticket to getting all the perks. Join today. See Club for details.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Koppel Chevrolet GMC, and man, do the October incentives get better. You won't want to miss this. Happening right now at Koppel, you have 0% financing or $6,500 off MSRP on select new half-ton crew cab pickups. Yes, you heard right. Happening right now until the end of the month. 0% financing or $6,500 off sticker price. Those incentives are the best we've seen this entire year. Hurry on in while supplies last. Just take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at koppelcars.com. You'll be glad you did. All offers include trade-in bonus and with roof credit.
Ironhide Construction is hiring. They're looking for hardworking, self-motivated individuals who are team players. Ironhide Construction has openings for an experienced project manager, estimator, apprentice, skilled laborer, and erector or installer. They will train the right people and make sure you understand the position and requirements. At Ironhide Construction, it's own it, be honest, and do it right. Apply today and learn more about their other benefits at ironhideconstruction.com, where they're committed to you every step of the way.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
When it comes to tackling your fall projects, having the right equipment can make a huge difference. At Sunbelt Rentals, they have an extensive line of tools and equipment to help complete any job. From lawn and landscape equipment to hand tools, pressure washers, portable generators for you tailgaters, and much more. Sunbelt Rentals makes it easy to get what you need when you need it. Drop in to see the experts at 5450 Alvo Road in Lincoln, or visit sunbeltrentals.com today to learn how Sunbelt Rentals can make it happen for you.
Whether it's playing on a sports team or creating art, it's important to encourage your kids to explore their interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Let your child know you believe in their passions. It can contribute to your child's focus and improve the quality of their schoolwork too. So show that budding scientist some encouragement by helping them with an experiment, or play catch with your baseball enthusiast.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster. Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back to On on the Block. He's Strick here in Austin Orman. My partner is back after Nick Sainert and I, who are on Wednesdays, but 4 days out of the week. Austin Orman and I are here 2 to 4 every day on all streaming platforms. Allo, channel 951, where we love Allo because Allo is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with what?
Local heart.
Local heart. Yeah, that's the one thing here. But we're going to get into a great segment. I think this is a great segment, Austin, that we've kind of put together and facilitated because we know that the Rangers were able to accomplish their first World Series victory down there in Dallas. Now the whole city's basically have all gotten it done. They were last ones in the wings to get it done. But who is next in MLB, NBA, as well as the NFL? And let's get into it and let's talk about it. Let's start with MLB. First and foremost, like what teams are pretty much out there right now? Like who are the teams that have not got it done at this particular point? And I can tell you who they are. You have the Colorado Rockies, the Milwaukee Brewers, the San Diego Padres, Seattle Mariners, Tampa Bay Rays, who have been on the verge of breaking through, and that's it. Who do you think out of that is on the verge of maybe breaking through outside of the Texas Rangers, maybe up next?
So it's not the Rockies. I can tell you that much.
Yeah.
They're
a long way
not
off.
a well-run organization. They did make it to a World Series. Didn't go very well for them. Got swept out of it by the Red Sox. Just not in love with that. I want to say Milwaukee. I think they're a good model for my beloved Kansas City Royals to follow. But if you heard the crossover, I'm kind of out on Milwaukee right now. I think that's an organization at a crossroads, so it's not them. The simple answer to me is the Padres. With all the talent they have, with all the money they spend, the market they play in, it's going to be tough. I mean, the Dodgers maybe took a half step back, but the Dodgers are going to be good. Maybe Arizona's ascendant, San Francisco's up and down. I think San Diego has the commitment to it, but just like the Chargers, who used to be in San Diego, I just think there's something on that organization. There's a curse, there's a hex, there's voodoo, something bad that has to get broken. So that leaves me with the Mariners and the Rays. The Rays, to their credit, have been to a couple World Series.
Yeah.
They have. But the Mariners have never been to a World Series.
Yeah.
I think the Mariners are the next ones to get it done. They've been in contention pretty consistently, not as consistently as the Rays, obviously, but I think Seattle is a team that has the star power in Julio Rodriguez, that has a really good rotation, has an active GM in Jerry DiPoto who makes a lot of moves. Tampa, I don't know. They've gotten so close a couple times. I'm just not buying it. So give me Seattle. Give me Seattle.
And here's the crazy thing. I can envision something crazy like this happen. Shohei Ohtani going up to Seattle, potentially tapping into that back end market. Yes, there's probably some things that can hinder that from happening, but let's just say that it can get done. And I still can see it's not next year, but I think it's maybe 3 years in the making. And wouldn't it be something as NBA expands, they go up there, Seattle Seahawks have already got it done. The hockey team there, I don't know for sure if the
Kraken are like
the Kraken,
3 years old.
Yeah, so they're still
haven't
fresh.
done it yet.
But they've actually had some good success in the NHL. So
those expansion teams to the NHL between the Kraken and the Knights, hit the ground running.
Right? So I can see something like that kind of just, in a couple of these instances, I'm going to speak kind of from if you're a conspiracy theorist, like how things can kind of work their way into happening for the verge of really propping up the league. And and I'll talk about a couple of those in that form. But right now, I would probably throw I think the Rays to me are probably the closest, but I like where you went with the Padres. Let's transition on and move on to the in the basketball. Let's go to the NBA.
Let's do it.
Let's go to the NBA, where you have the Brooklyn Nets, who have been there a few times. They actually obviously was the New Jersey Nets, as the New Jersey Nets went to 2 NBA Finals, one of which they were able to crack through and beat us at Boston in 2002 to get in, and eventually losing to both champions there. I think one of them was the Lakers, and then one of them, the other one, San Antonio with the Parker group and Duncan and Ginobili. The Charlotte Hornets are another one that has been pretty dismal since their existence in 1988. Just have not been able to pretty much even get close. They don't even have a divisional title at this point. So they're probably the furthest away. Indiana Pacers were on the verge of breaking through in the Reggie Miller era. Had some great success there. One of the best franchises out of the ABA. So they were pretty successful. The Clippers is another one. And the Grizzlies, Minnesota Timberwolves, Pelicans, Orlando Magic, Phoenix Suns, Utah Jazz. Those are the ones, and we know what the Jazz's situation is. Just happened to be Michael Jordan time, and you just got caught by the gauntlet of Michael Jordan. Otherwise, you had probably the best team in the league.
Right. I mean, Houston got it when MJ stepped away. Who's to say Utah could never? Even Phoenix.
Yeah.
You know, in those earlier 90s. I think to me, Strick, the one that jumps out off the page for me is Phoenix. With that frontline talent they have, they got more depth than I thought. I don't know if I'd pick them to do it this year, but I think Phoenix is on the verge. Indiana also had a chance, let's not forget, with Paul George and Roy Hibbert, Lane Stevenson. Those teams, I think, earned the 1 seed in some of those LeBron-era Heat teams, but got beat by him. So the Pacers have had plenty of chances. I'm rooting for them. I kind of like the way they run things. I just don't think they're next. Memphis has to get out of its own way. I like their core. I like what they're building. They gotta figure it out. The Clippers, it's now or never. They've went all in. If they didn't get one with CP3 and Blake and DeAndre and those good role guys when they were up there, like they kind of ran into the Warriors, kind of like the Jazz did with the Bulls to some degree. So I think those are the ones that jump off the page to me. Yeah. Watch out for the Pelicans making a surprise run, right? They're always a dark horse, Stricky, with that talent.
This is where I was going to go with my conspiracy mind theory.
Okay.
And here's why. I think with everything that's going on out of Memphis, they're going to be the furthest away from me right now for quite a while. But I think the Pelicans, and here's why. What you've had is an emergence of European international talent that is pretty much rose to the top of the pedigree of the NBA. One of the issues that you have is that viewership, because you don't have any identifiable headship outside of the old guard, the Steph Currys, the LeBron Jameses, KDs. Those guys are transitioning towards the tail end of their careers. Who's next up? You were really trying to transition in and give it over to Ja Morant. The precious ends up, kind of being his downfall. Zion, obviously, by way of injuries. But one of the things that you saw is that came out of the wake of Katrina. One of the worst times in our country is the New Orleans Saints end up winning a Super Bowl.
Yep.
With the downtrodden now aspects of the NBA, as far as high level talent, how can you raise the viewership, the eyeballs, the interest of those who are watching, as well as bring back casual fans, than to let a Zion Williams-led, if you're a conspiracy theorist now, this is only if you're a conspiracy theorist, a Zion-led Pelicans come to the forefront and do something in the Super Gauntlet West that's how you can raise interest. If you're that guy, that's how you do it. And so that's why I kind of throw them into the mix. Obviously, it would be Phoenix, and then the Clippers threw themselves in the rung. But Clippers to me is like the bad stepchild of the Lakers.
Right.
And so when they emerge, I don't know. So
that's another franchise that has had not very many moments, but didn't capitalize the ones that did.
That's a fact. Let's move on. Let's get into the NFL now. The NFL, you have the Arizona Cardinals, the Atlanta Falcons, who, if you're a conspiracy theorist, you think that definitely dropped off with the shedding off of the lights, some people would say. The Buffalo Bills, Carolina Panthers, Cincinnati Bengals, Cleveland Browns, Detroit Lions, Houston Texans, Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the Los Angeles Chargers, who is the stepchild to the Rams. Minnesota Vikings, Tennessee Titans, And there goes you. What say you as to the potential of who's next?
Not the Cardinals.
Definitely.
Not the Falcons. Not the Panthers.
No.
Not the Browns. I mean, that's a storied organization.
And the Falcons is one of the oldest major,
too.
Yeah, without a league championship,
right?
Outside of the Rangers. Go ahead.
Not the Lions. Maybe they make a dark horse run. I'm saying not the Lions.
Okay.
I'm writing them off.
Yeah.
Not Houston. Not Jacksonville. Jaguars and Jaguar. Not the Chargers for that same voodoo hex curse deal.
Not the Browns.
Nope. Not the Titans. Not the Vikings.
You're thinking Bills.
The Bills have had so many cracks at it.
5 in a row.
5 in a row. And they didn't get one. But my preseason pick that's not looking very good.
Cincinnati. Yeah.
I think the league likes Joe Burrow. I think they want him healthy. I think Cincy will have a way to figure out how to keep pieces around and healthy. I think Jamar Chase is good. I think that defense is good. I think Cincy fits the mold. So to me, it's either Buffalo or Cincy, who had a crack at it recently. So give me the Bengals.
The Bengals right now, they sit at the bottom of the AFC North now, behind the Baltimore Ravens, Pittsburgh Steelers, which in itself, listen, I always will give a hand clap to Mike Tomlin because there's nobody coming into the season thought with a negative 34 differential that they have that they would be at 4-3 right now. It's an anomaly of how he continuously gets it done with not a top tier quarterback, not top tier anything on the wide receiver room.
Mediocre offensive coordinator.
Everything in that doesn't say that. Now, Cleveland Browns defense is getting it done on that side of things. But look, the Jacksonville Jaguars are just creeping along low key. And you totally threw them off and writ them off from the top of the
Jacksonville against Jacksonville. Same reason Detroit's going to Detroit, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying they'll never win them, but before I pick them, they have to prove they can get there.
Like it. Right now, Philly is still running away with it, 7-1 right now. But another team that you just do not believe, and it's just because of the tears that have been cried in a city that's just been crumbling, with infrastructure, loss of the a lot of the automotive market. Is a crumbling city. All that's left. Is this one of those conspiracy ones where it could just kind of bring a city together and raise it for them, similar to what New Orleans did during that time?
It could be. My question to you would be, having been around Detroit, what would mean the most? Would it be a Lions Super Bowl? Would it be the Pistons winning the finals? Would it be a Tigers World Series? Would it be a Red Wings Stanley Cup? Like, which one?
Well, the Red Wings are always the ones that are just kind of getting it done as far as for Detroit. Obviously, the Detroit Tigers haven't ever really. I mean, they've had runs, but not
early 2010s.
Really,
but
nothing else outside of that. I think the hurting franchise of Detroit has always been the Detroit Lions, and if they couldn't get it right with Barry Sanders
or Calvin Johnson,
when do you get it right?
Right.
It's no better time than now. I think you have to take what you've got, the lessons that you've learned out of last year, the losses that you accumulated that was heartbreaking, and hopefully it's a turn for the better and not the worse, and you don't fall off the map, because right now they're doing pretty good.
Claytonia John is saying it's the Lions. Let's go Lions. Gift. I'm not rooting against them, right? I am actively rooting against Jacksonville, given my deeply, sincerely held Colts convictions, but I got nothing against the Lions. Like, it'd be awesome for that city, like you say. I'm just not going to pick them to do it.
Tommy on the Sauter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685, has his thoughts. It's the Seattle Kraken, who would be on the NHL, popping up next. Phoenix Suns and Jacksonville are his predictions. The Suns have been so close so many times and just have not. They also have, I think, 15 Hall of Famers that have come through their team, 2 MVPs with Steve Nash and Charles Barkley. Just were not able to break through, and obviously part of that non-breakthrough was during the Michael Jordan era, and I would also venture to say the San Antonio fight where they knocked Steve Nash out, and just a lot of that stuff that transpired that really hindered them, because I actually thought they would have won that series had they got through. So there it is. Well, anything else? Other thoughts? We got Shootout with Strick that's going to be coming up next. Call in on the LOVIP line. Reach out to us. And let's fight. Let's get it in.
Champ is here.
I'm all ready.
Can you take him down? Let's see. Play it next.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Whether you're booking a trip to Lincoln for a football game or a volleyball weekend, the Scarlet Hotel at Innovation Campus is the place for you. The Scarlet Hotel is special on many levels, from the delicious Well and Good restaurant on the main floor to the coolest rooftop patio bar in Lincoln, the Barred Owl, on the top floor of the hotel with great views of the city and one of the coolest drink menus. Book your stay or book a staycation today at scarlethotelnebraska.com.
Gray Diesel and Equipment Services is hiring and seeking motivated applicants. Gray offers a second-to-none benefit package that includes health, dental, vision, 401k, paid vacation, and paid holidays. They offer great pay and tuition reimbursement or a tool purchase program for qualified candidates. It's a fun, friendly team with lots of variety and work assignments, so there's something for everybody. View and apply for their job openings today at grayusa.com or visit them in person just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Come be a part of the Gray difference.
It's football season in Nebraska, and that means coaches are busy making game plans. I'm Eric Hagan with Liberty Law Group. Teams make game plans because no two opponents are the same. At Liberty Law, we understand no two cases are the same. Whether facing a DUI, criminal charge, or you were injured and it wasn't your fault, we tailor our legal game plan to meet your unique needs. Liberty Law's relentless trial attorneys serve all of Nebraska. To learn more, visit libertylawnebraska.com. That's libertylawnebraska.com.
The Stars are back home on November 4th to take on the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at the Icebox. It's the first visit for Cedar Rapids to the capital city since 2019, and it's also military night with a post-game jersey auction to follow. Lock in your seats today by heading to LincolnStars.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 7th is chuck roast for just $5.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their two new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Bleicher and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
My dream was to work in commercial banking, but it required a college degree and I didn't have one. I found out that Doane had classes for adult learners on the Lincoln campus and online. So I earned my bachelor's degree, and 5 months later, I landed my dream job. I decided to continue my education, and now I'm working on my MBA at Doane. For me, the Doane experience has been life-changing.
Alexa, play 93.7 The Ticket.
Okay, playing 93.7 The Ticket.
Alexa, turn down the lights.
Dimming the lights.
Alexa, order a pizza, the big one, all the toppings.
Are you sure that's a good idea?
Alexa.
That's a lot of pizza for just one man.
Alexa, just do it. Stop judging me, just do it.
As you wish.
Thanks, Alexa. You're my best friend. It's time to play Shootout with Strick. Call now, 464-5685, to take your shot against Eric Strickland. Shootout with Strick. Brought to you by Buffalo Wings and Rings.
Time to play the game.
We got fan cam going on. We got fan cam. They're here for the champ.
Popping in, saying what's up. You guys can always do that too. It's a beautiful day outside today. Swing on by. Down here at the Ticket right here on 11th and 0.
1040 O Street, northwest corner.
I get that's where I get confused because it's 1040, but it's 11th and 0. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
1040.
Because I think the 1040 is technically the mill. But that's where they mark the address from.
Yeah.
So corner of 11th and 0 for us.
The corner of 11th and 0. Windows is always open. We get to see so much. A lot of action. All types of stuff going on right here on O Street. We get it all right in front of us. But right now we got Shootout with Strick. Let's get it.
We do $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings on the line between Strick and we have Adam on the Honda of Lincoln hotline. Adam, how are you today?
Great. How are you?
I'm glad to hear that. We are doing well. You know the rules of the shootout.
I believe so.
Excellent. Hold on the line. Strick will get his 4 questions first, and then we will get to you. All right, Strick, we're doing World Series trivia.
Oh, gosh.
World Series trivia.
Adam might get me today.
We'll see. See if you're being generous or if you pull it out. Give yourself a chance. Your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He was the first pitcher to be named World Series MVP twice. Bob Gibson or Sandy Koufax?
Koufax.
Yep, he has more career postseason home runs. Derek Jeter or Corey Seager?
Jeter.
It is Jeter. Before last night, he was the most recent pitcher to win 5 games in 1 postseason. Steven Strasburg or Justin Verlander?
Verlander.
It was Strasburg, and he's the Texas Rangers general manager.
Oh, gosh, I know his name, and it's freaking throwing me for a loop right now. Oh! It's a funny name. Freaking A, I can't even get it. I can't even get it. What?
It's not a funny name. It's Chris Young.
Oh, that's not him.
Yeah.
That's not who I thought it was.
Yeah. Chris Young, former Kansas City Royal.
Of course. You was going to give me that
6'10" pitcher. Won the 2015 World Series with the Royals. One of, I believe, 3 men since 1950 to win a World Series as both a player and a GM.
Who was the other 6'10" pitcher?
Randy Johnson was huge.
There it is. Randy Johnson. Okay.
Let's see here. Okay, Adam, you need 2 to tie. You need 3 to win. Are you ready for your round of the shootout?
Yeah, but I'm not feeling so confident with baseball, but we'll see.
All right, give it a shot. Your round starts here in 3, 2, and 1. He was the first position player to be named World Series MVP twice. Reggie Jackson or Barry Larkin?
Reggie Jackson.
Yep, he was the first pitcher to win 5 games in a single postseason. Francisco Rodriguez or Randy Johnson?
Randy Johnson.
Yep, before last night, he was the most recent manager to win 4 World Series. Joe Torre or Jim Leland?
Jim Leland.
It was Torre, and he's the only player to win 3 consecutive World Series with 3 different teams.
Oh, man. I'm just going to go...
At the buzzer.
Kyle Korver.
No, a good guess, but it doesn't count. We will go to the tiebreaker. Tied at 2. The answer is Will Smith, left-handed reliever. He pitched for the Braves. He pitched for the Astros. And he pitched for the Rangers. So 3 straight years Will Smith has won a World Series. It's been with 3 different teams.
He's crazy.
The Bob Horry of MLB.
Robert Horry. He's the Robert Horry of MLB.
All right, so here we go to the tiebreaker. Right. Adam, I will give Strick the question. He will guess a number. You will go over under. Sound good to you?
Sounds good.
Okay, here's the question. How many road games did the Texas Rangers win this postseason? How many road games did the Texas Rangers win this postseason?
10.
Okay, Adam, over or under 10?
Ooh, that's a real good number. I'm gonna go over.
Boom shakalaka!
Dang it!
Give me a hell yeah! I said, give me a hell yeah!
Stricky, the number was 11. God! They went 11-0 on the road this postseason. You were right there. Victory at your fingertips. But Adam, you didn't feel good about it coming in. You win $30 to Buffalo Wings and Rings is yours. Congratulations.
Thank you. Good game, Strick.
Good game, Adam. Dang it. by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
You were right there. I had the music queued up for you, Stricky. I was ready. I had my finger hovering over that play button.
Listen, I thought I could just throw that number out. I thought I could finesse it because that's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was it.
Also, didn't do yourself any favors by throwing the name Randy Johnson out before I had a question about Randy Johnson. So
freaking unbelievable. Okay.
So close.
That's the psyche of the thing. It just kind of puts it in somebody's mind when I knew it. It was going to be that. Okay.
But yeah, so
that's
Texas 11.
I'll sip my woes away on Thursday.
Hold on an hour. It's coming. But yeah, Texas won both wildcard games at Tampa on the road. They won the first 2 games of their series with Baltimore on the road. They won every game in their championship series against Houston.
Yeah, on the road. I remember that one.
And then 3 straight in Arizona. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7,
11.
8, 9, 10, 11.
Yeah,
so,
good math.
So close. Adam, congratulations on the win. We're going to switch gears, though. We'll talk some college football here in hour number 2. Any minute now, we should have the 2024 Big Ten schedules with dates of opponents. If that's out, we'll break it down from a Nebraska standpoint. We'll get into some Nebraska and Michigan State, talk some Huskers and Spartans today, a little more tomorrow. And we mentioned it again in the crossover. Conference call with Big Ten coaches about Michigan's cheating. The coaches want Michigan punished. Do we think it happens? What would that look like? We'll get into that and more. If you have any thoughts on that Nebraska schedule or Michigan's potential punishment, let us know. 402-464-5685. We'll talk about it all in hour 2 of On the Block.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-480-6671 or go online to deckcityne.com. Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric brings exciting career opportunities for you or someone you know. They are now hiring plumbers, electricians, and HVAC techs and installers to continually build their professional team. They offer competitive pay and full benefits packages that include health, dental, vision, PTO, and 401k options. Action has created a positive team environment for over 50 years. Apply online at actionlincoln.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here for Coppell Chevrolet GMC, and man, of the October incentives get better. You won't want to miss this. Happening right now at Coppell, you have 0% financing or $6,500 off MSRP on select new half-ton crew cab pickups. Yes, you heard right. Happening right now until the end of the month. 0% financing or $6,500 off sticker price. Those incentives are the best we've seen this entire year. Hurry on in while supplies last. Just take that short money-saving drive down 144th Street or check us out online at CoppellCars.com. You'll be glad you did. All offers include trade-in bonus and with approved credit.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sport shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln,
January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.
Living life to its fullest is just a free consultation away. If you're living with symptoms that you can't shake, then bring your low energy, brain fog, belly fat, grumpiness, muscle loss, and low libido to Limitless Male. We have the expertise to get rid of your symptoms. This is what Limitless Male does all day, every day. You won't find another men's clinic like Limitless Male. We know what you're going through. We know how to fix it. Schedule a free consult at limitlessmail.com.
Okay, it's time to sell the house. How do we even begin to choose from the hundreds of realtors in town?
Easy. We make a pros list.
You mean a pros and cons list?
No, just a pros list. We need someone with pro photography to showcase the house in the best possible way, pro marketing to make sure we get maximum exposure, pro negotiations so we know we get the best price.
This is one of those times where you already know the right answer, isn't it?
You know it is. Ben Blecker and Professional Realty Group.
Contact Ben Bleicher and the team at Professional Realty Group of Berkshire Hathaway's Home Services Ambassador. Online at prg-ne.com.
The Stars are back home on November 4th to take on the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at the Icebox. It's the first visit for Cedar Rapids to the capital city since 2019, and it's also military night with a post-game jersey auction to follow. Lock in your seats today by heading to LincolnStars.com.
Whether it's playing on a sports team or creating art, it's important to encourage your kids to explore their interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Let your child know you believe in their passions. It can contribute to your child's focus and improve the quality of their schoolwork, too. So show that budding scientist some encouragement by helping them with an experiment or play catch with your baseball enthusiast.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
This is On the Block with Strick and Austin. Nebraska Basketball Hall of Famer and 9-year NBA vet, Eric Strickland.
Strickland for three! And you're going to go out of here as the Big 8 tournament champion.
Middle school basketball coaching legend and Duke basketball shooting coach in his mind, Austin Orman. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. On air and online at theticketfm.com. Brought to you by Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul. This is On the Block with Strick and Austin.
And we got that breaking news we promised. The Husker football 2024 football schedule is released.
It's out.
We'll get to it here in just a sec. First of all, though, we'd be remiss if we didn't start every hour by thanking Mary Ellen's Food for the Soul down the 27th, 29th, and Pine Lake here in Lincoln. Rumor has it there will be an Eric Strickland sighting down there at some point.
There will be. I'm
near future.
gonna send the text in with the order probably right around Thursday. Yeah, it's gonna be. You know what I'm going in for? Sweet Southern Heat. Southern Sweet Heat. Yeah.
The only right answer.
It's the only answer for me. And listen, they don't cheap you.
Oh, no.
It's not these little freaking wings that you can get at some places, right? It's these big, juicy, thick, lot of meat types of wings. So, yeah, go down there and get it.
I have a recent firsthand experience with that a couple weeks ago. I was in, and Ricky Simmons, grown man, right? Went to Mary Ellen's, brought back a big old, to-go box of stuff. Ricky, again, grown man, couldn't eat it all. Ricky shared with me. So I appreciate Ricky for sharing. I appreciate Mary Ellen's for giving him enough to share. They're good people down there.
No doubt about it.
Tell them 93.7 The Ticket specifically on the block sent you. We're glad you're here with us 2 to 4 weekdays here on 93.7 The Ticket, theticketfm.com, and hanging out on the Starter Heyman text line, 402-464-5685. If you've seen Nebraska football's schedule, give us a rating, 1 through 5 stars. However you rate it, give us an explanation, and we'll get into that in just a sec. I'm glad we have these announced now, Strick, because we can start looking forward a little bit. I get it. There's still a month of football left to play, but we knew the opponents. Now we know the dates. Now we know how things actually shape up. The non-conference for Nebraska next year, we already knew. They start August 31st again. They'll play Texas El Paso. They'll play Colorado the week after that, and they'll play Northern Iowa. Actually, all 3 home games for Nebraska in the non-conference. Their first conference game of the year is a home game. For the first time since I believe Keith Mann said it was
Like 4 years.
2017.
Yeah.
Yeah, the first time since 2017, Nebraska will open conference play at home. It's been a long time. They get Illinois. So 4 straight home games to start the year. I like that for Nebraska. You go to Purdue in your second conference game of the year, and then you host Rutgers. Not a bad opening stretch for the Huskers.
Not a bad start. It's first of all, you get a home game, and then you get the opportunity to go out to Purdue, have Rutgers, who's kind of stingy sometimes on the defensive side of things. So it'll be a good tune-up as you go into a bye week.
Yes.
And 3 good games to give you an opportunity to see where your team's at, what you need to improve on, go into a bye week, and then you'll come into come off the bye week with Indiana, which is not bad.
Probably going to have a new coach next year.
Yeah, it'll be on the road, but that's okay. But then it starts.
Oh boy. You mentioned that bye week between Rutgers and Indiana. So Nebraska is off on October 12th. Get your fall weddings in that day. The 19th, they go to Bloomington, to Columbus the next week. They go play at Ohio State. And then to start November, they will play their first former Pac-12 team of the Big Ten era. The Bruins of UCLA come to Lincoln on November 2nd.
I would have preferred to go out to Pasadena during that time.
Oh, you still
Let's be
can.
honest.
You still can, Stricky, because after UCLA, Nebraska has a bye week. They go to USC coming off their second bye week.
The crazy thing is it going to be with Caleb?
Oh, he's gone.
Or without?
He's got to be gone, right? He's got to be gone, doesn't he?
I think it's time to go.
Mm-hmm.
That stretch, because you got UCLA that comes home.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, oh boy, the end of the season gone. You better bank. You better put some things in the bank. You better take care of Illinois, Purdue, Rutgers, Indiana. Go on the road and see what it do. Come back home, take care of business, because the end stretch for you is going to be
at USC. You get Wisconsin at home, then you go to Iowa on Black Friday.
There it is. So, I mean, look, if you bank it right, you can put yourself in a position to have a special season and a bowl, a nice good bowl to go to. I don't know if I don't know with the schedule that they can get to a New Year's six bowl, but
if they were going to get to
know.
a New Year's Six bowl, sir, remember next year's the first year of the expanded playoff.
Oh, that's right. Then they would possibly pop in on the bottom half. I don't think they're there yet, but I'm optimistic. I'm optimistic. You bring me a superstar quarterback with talent in the wide receiver room, with everybody learned from the freaking season that you've had, all of the adversity. Everybody been in the trenches now that you know who you got and who you're working with. Maybe you get some great line play. Maybe that still together and they're holding tough. Some of the guys you just never know. You never know. It's a tough schedule, though. I'm not going to even sit here and hold you on that one.
All right. So, the positives of this schedule to me are the runway, right? We talk about the F-16 versus the Airbus. It's another Airbus schedule for Nebraska. UTEP hasn't been very good. Colorado, we'll see what they are in year 2 under Coach Sanders, unless he goes to Las Vegas, like some people seem to want him to do and coach the Raiders. Northern Iowa is an FCS team. Illinois, fascinated to see what they are next year. Purdue in year 2 under Ryan Walters. And Rutgers, who, to their credit, is bowl eligible already this year, but it's still Rutgers. You get 6 games to figure yourself out, to learn who you are, and then you get a bye week to get healthy and to reassess. Then you have 2 3-game mini schedules.
Do you got to go to Colorado again?
No, they're here.
They're here.
Colorado's here. You're home for the first
4 games.
4 weeks and 5 of the first 6.
If you don't take care of that, that's on you at that point.
Because then you have 2 3-game mini schedules. At Indiana, you would like to think you can bank that one. Again, probably with a new coach. At Ohio State, going to be tough. Nebraska hasn't had any success in Columbus. Nebraska and UCLA have played some good games in the past. I think Nebraska can be on a similar level to UCLA in November. You want it cold. You want it windy. You want UCLA not accustomed to it. But that's why I think having to go out to USC after that second bye week makes that a tougher game, right? They've been playing it the whole time. They don't have to adjust to you. And then you close with Wisconsin and Iowa. Wisconsin, I bet, will have more figured out next year than this year.
I think they'll be better.
And Iowa probably won't be as banged up as they're going to be this year. To me, Strick, the year that comes to mind is 2016. Nebraska starts out 7-0 against that schedule. Nebraska very well could start out 7-0 next year, and then it gets tough. That 8th game, Nebraska loses a nail bite or a heartbreaker to Wisconsin, then gets smacked by Ohio State. I don't know how that Ohio State game is going to go, but UCLA coming after Ohio State, most likely a good chance to respond. And then the season-defining stretch will be those final 3 games. You get a newcomer, you get 2 teams that have been your measuring stick for the first decade plus that you've been in this league. Show us what you got in year 2, Matt Rule.
I'm okay with even having Washington this early because I Penix Jr.'s out, so
right.
If they can get another quarterback again, it's hit or miss on the quarterback market. You know what I mean? Just because you have somebody, when we've seen that with Clemson, right?
Oh, right.
Hey, everybody thought Klubnik was going to be, an upgrade, and it ends up looking like freaking DJ is getting the best of that run. So yeah, you just never know what Washington's going to be able to bring in with the changes, and maybe it's a hit, maybe it's a miss. Maryland, we don't get them next year. Nope. So yeah, I like it, man. I'm excited. I'm going to be looking forward to going and watching some games.
No Maryland, no Northwestern,
no Penn State,
no Michigan State, no Michigan.
Love it.
It's
going
to take some getting used to.
Yeah.
Not seeing those traditional Big Ten West teams on there.
And we're going away from divisions, right?
We are, yes.
So it's what? Well, at this point, it doesn't matter because you got 12. You got to go just put your percentage together and go get it. Yeah.
Let's go to the text line. See what the Starter Heyman text line is saying. Again, that number for you is 402-464-5685. 3201 says, brutal final 5 games of the season. It's going to be tough, but do you view it as, hey, Nebraska's going to be lucky to go 7-5? Or, hey, if Nebraska gets a couple of these games, they're in really good position for something bigger? That's the approach.
That's the way I look at it. I think you just continue to develop your defense. I think if you can land a quarterback, let Harbaugh fight it out. But you've got to bring somebody in here that maybe is an elite arm talent, great footwork, has the ability to get the ball and hit targets. I think the receivers will get better. They're young. I think, again, they've just got to work on separation. Guys like Marcus Washington, he's not a separator, but he's a great possession type of guy. You've got some speed. If their route running gets better, you hope someone emerges. I don't think we have somebody that'll emerge along the Marvin Harrison Jr. line, but I think we can have somebody that can step up and become somebody that's solid. Who's going to take that reign by the reins? Starter Heyman text line, help me. Who out of the wide receiver core that's here? Let's not talk about who's coming or potentially who's coming. Let's talk about who we got here. Who do you think will take the biggest step in the wide receiver room out of this young group of wide receivers right now? 402-464-5685, because we need somebody that's going to be able to create separate. I'm not saying they even have to have, they need to be Trey Palmer. I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying somebody needs to be able to win in the routes. And I want to know who that's going to be.
Keep that safety back a step.
Does anybody in our tight end room go to another level? We'll see. But I really want to talk about the wide receiver room. That's where I would like to see.
Byron the Hog Farmer Strick is not scared of USC. He says, I'm not worried about USC. They lose Caleb Williams, probably Lincoln Riley, and the defense is bad.
I think the defense is good. I would put our defense against USC's defense all day.
Oh, yeah.
Right now. I love White. Now, if I'm Nebraska, I'm paying the man.
Oh, yep.
He earned it. Every penny, every dollar. Pay the man. You know what I mean? I think they'll even get better. I think I think some of the young rush ins, because of the injuries to
Lenhart.
No, is it Lenhart, right?
The young edge rusher?
The young edge rusher.
Yep.
Lenhart,
Cam
right?
Lenhart. Yep.
Cam. Like Lenhart, I think Human Yellen will
Prince
get better.
Will's been good.
I think, and then some that are being recruited are pretty highly talented.
Should have Nash back.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm okay with our defense.
Mm-hmm.
I would just think that they get better. I would love to see some good safeties with some abilities to cover.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got a good core of guys. Obviously, you're going to lose Newsome.
Right.
But
mm-hmm.
I like where we are.
I'm with you. Big B says the schedule is a 5-star because if you want to be the best, you got to beat the best. Now, Nebraska's not
I won't say
facing
5-star.
everyone.
I won't say 5-star.
You miss Michigan, you miss Penn State, you miss Oregon, you miss Washington.
I like it for what you're missing.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think if you would have had, because I even think Penn State's going to be even better.
Mm-hmm.
Just being honest. I like the fact that you're not having an Ohio State, Penn State.
James and Lincoln agrees with you.
You know what I mean? So I can take one of the two.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm okay with who you got on the West.
Mm-hmm.
You know, all the West teams. Like I was saying, no Penix Jr. I'm okay with going against them.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care about Caleb and that crew. I don't think they're going to get astronomically better on the defensive side by that time. I'm okay with USC. And I'm okay with the rest of it. Everybody in the West, I think Wisconsin may get a little bit better as well. But I'm okay with that. Let's go.
Derek in a car says something very similar. The football scheduling gods were very kind to good old Nebraska U next season. They can make a nice run before the Buckeye game. Huskers P says should go 9-3 with that schedule. But here's a little pushback. 0022 says you're already counting 7-0 next year. You haven't even qualified for a bowl game this year. That's why I get so frustrated by Nebraska coverage. This seems really entitled. Okay, we're looking ahead. We've seen growth from this program.
And we said there's things that has to occur in order for that to happen. As things look right now, no, I'm not going to say that's the case.
You could still lose to Colorado.
You
could still lose to Illinois. You can still lose to Purdue.
We're not saying that. I'm saying if things happen, it can happen. We're not going to throw anything, but I would venture whoever that person is, I bet you they didn't even think Nebraska would be there where they are right now. So there's probably some negative bias in that comment in itself. You know, tell me then and be honest, unnamed texter, tell me honestly what you thought Nebraska would be right now with the record or how they would finish this year. And tell me how you think they still will finish this year. So tell me what you thought initially and text in where you think they're going to finish with the schedule they got left, because then that'll tell me a lot about how you feel about next year.
Thundernut Collins said if the offense can actually play at a B level next season and the defense keeps building, he doesn't see more than 2 losses. To get to a B level offense, to me, would require a couple of jumps. Nebraska is a C- D+ offense right now.
No doubt.
Effective enough when it needs to be, but definitely not consistent, lacking at quarterback in terms of a game breaker, a game changer. If that offense improves to a C, to an average offense, you're scoring 28, 29 points a game instead of 18 to 20. We're starting to talk. We're starting to have those conversations.
Yeah, I think, like I said, there's things that got to happen. The defense has got to continue to get better. They've still got to add some pieces. I still think there's some speed at the linebacker position to be able to cover in the middle, to be able to get depth, to do things like that. I still would like maybe a couple additions of some super talented cornerbacks or maybe a safety that could, like, I'm talking about like listen, when I say this, please don't text in saying that, oh yeah, we're not going to get nobody. Like a Jalen Ramsey type, meaning a versatile guy who can play both safety, can play in the slot, can play outside. Somebody
makes plays on the ball.
He's kind of hawkish, but we need guys that are going to be able to create turnovers. And so that's where I work. That's the stance I come from.
A couple people asking to hear Strick about the offensive line. But this is where I think getting these guys experience now at the end of the year is helpful. And I don't think the defensive lines Nebraska faces next year are nearly as scary as the lineup they have this year.
Yeah.
It's my money.
Again, every facet of this Nebraska team is we don't see the value of it until we get into the offseason and going forward. The lessons that they're going to learn through this adversity of all these injuries, all these situational changes, all these situational adjustments, guys moving inside and out, your Corcoran's moving inside, guys like that, Ben Hart moving. The lessons they're going to learn continuously is going to only help them to get better. Then if you add guys like, look, I'm not going to say, listen, I got to see this man's footwork. Bricks.
Oh, Grant Bricks.
Grant Bricks. That young fella's footwork. Look, I'm not going to say he's going to come in here and be a dominant force. Could be. I personally don't know if tackle would be initial start for him. I think probably inside would be a better place to start for him, because he's got great. If you see him block and get upfield to the second level, or continue blocking down, or after plays have gone downfield 10 yards, he's still running downfield. He looks like Cam Jurgens to me in a sense, the willingness to not stop. That type of effort at the line, if we can get somebody like that in there, a couple of those types in here, I like where we could be at the line.
Grant Bricks moves like a sedan, but pushes like an 18.
Boy. Oh, the domination. That's looking like old pancake style Nebraska. Get after it blocking. The way I've seen him on tape. Yeah.
Chubby Rhino on the text line. Again, if you have any thoughts on Nebraska's schedule for 2024, it's out on Twitter. I reposted it, Austin_Orman. We're talking about it here, 402-464-5685. Chubby Rhino says, let's not forget the prior Pac-12 schools have to play a Big Ten schedule. They're going to be beat up. Let's take a look, Strick, really quickly at who those Pac-12 schools coming in get.
We'll do, Paul, real quick on the text line. We probably won't get into that topic, but yes, we are aware. Just note that something else has happened in Michigan. Those who are listening, both on the radio as well as on the stream, there is another situation that has happened in Michigan. Obviously, we know that the coaches and other staffs of other universities want things to come down pretty quickly on Michigan. This could be trouble for them. We're just not going to get into the topic of what it is, because it's some sensitivity to that topic of discussion. But thank you for letting us know.
Yeah, we will talk Michigan next segment, because I think that's worth getting into, but just not that aspect.
Yeah.
Okay, so Oregon. We'll just do this alphabetically, run down the list. Oregon gets Michigan State, Ohio State, Michigan, Wisconsin as the heavy hitters, and they play Maryland. That's pretty tough for Oregon, I would say. UCLA plays Penn State, plays Iowa. Okay, not bad. USC, I think, gets hit the hardest. They play Michigan, they play Wisconsin, hopefully Nebraska. And Penn State's on that schedule as well.
Ooh.
And then Washington gets
Will
Michigan
Robinson
and Penn State.
Yeah.
I think USC got it worst.
I would have to agree with you on that one. I think USC's got the worst of that. Are they still going to have a conference championship with all these?
Yes.
Okay.
It'll be kind of like what the Big 12 does, and just the top two teams by winning percentage will play, even if it's a rematch.
Yeah. Cool.
And that game will be December 7th of 2024.
Where's it going to be played?
Lucas Oil.
Okay. In Indianapolis. Okay. I like it.
Book your tickets now, Husker fans. Book your tickets now.
Hey, listen. Again, I'm going to say this continuously. Nebraska is in a situation again this year, with the way the schedule is lining up, that they are in their own driver's seat without and can make it happen on their own. They can take it by the reins and lead this, or they can take their hands off and let it drive like a Tesla. And you're at risk of whether or not what's going to happen with that.
Computer short circuit.
You know what I'm saying? Because it is in their hands. They can literally do something magnanimous. And I venture to say nobody listening on this line right now thought Nebraska could get to. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying everybody in that locker room and the conversations between those coaches and that staff, they have the opportunity to do something that nobody, when they came into this season, could have ever thought they could have done, and that's to get to a Big Ten championship.
And I think that group's starting to believe. I think they're starting to see some of the fruits of that labor after that 0-2 start to respond the way they did. We'll wrap up with this here, Strick. 0022 texted back. Not going to read the whole text, but the point was he said that he had Nebraska going 5-7 this year, which is still on the table. We hope Nebraska gets at least one or two more here.
I'm going to talk to Cluster about that too.
Please do. WTF.
Yeah. Cluster,
for that.
Yeah, we'll be talking about 6-7 today.
Hey, I'll say this though. 0022, maybe we were on the wishful thinking end, but we did qualify. We didn't say you can mark down 7-0. We said they've got improvement to do. We're hoping they take that next step. We want them to take that next step. But I've said this all year, Strick. I've said it all year. The burden of proof is on Nebraska to prove that it belongs in these conversations. Not for people to put Nebraska in those conversations because of the brand or the logo or anything like that. The onus is always on Nebraska. It has always been on Nebraska. There's an opportunity to do it next year, to do something special. The team has to go prove that it's willing to take the steps to make it happen.
Absolutely. And again, you just got to watch the recruiting. The recruiting and where they're recruiting and what they're recruiting will tell you a lot about if they land and it's a hit. Now I'm talking about going down over there to Harris, put Worker down on the line and throwing 7-11. And you hitting for the money.
Money.
That's what I'm saying. You got to hit for the money. You can't just go in there and crap out after 4 rolls. That ain't gonna do it. You got to be able to hit. And I'm telling a hit that needs to happen is at the quarterback position, or you need to see a drastic uptick in what Harburg is to finish the season too. You know, I mean, obviously,
show us signs now.
Show us something of as far as your growth, because it's not going to happen the way that it is right now. I can tell you that.
Oh, for sure. He's Strick. I'm Austin. Good overview of Nebraska football's 2024 schedule. We might talk some Huskers and Spartans next segment, but Michigan's on the mind, right? The coaches had a conference call with the Big Ten. They want Michigan punished. What could that look like? What are the odds of that happening? And Tony Petitti is at a crossroads already in his first few months on the job. We'll get into what it means for the conference, for the commissioner, for Michigan, all that and more next during On the Block.
Integrated Life Choices has been inspiring opportunities for individuals with disabilities for more than 15 years in Lincoln and across Nebraska by offering a number of services. From group homes to independent living resources and job training, you'll find the support that allows people to live fulfilling lives. They're also hiring. If you're looking for a rewarding career supporting people with developmental disabilities, you can check out open positions along with learning more about services at ilc.net. Integrated Life Choices.
Gary Michaels Clothiers celebrates 40 years of serving Nebraskans in the men's clothing industry. 40 years of some of the most memorable moments. In our way of thanking you for 40 years, we are offering a 40% discount on any single one item in the store. 40% off any suit, sport coat, slack, sports shirt, sweater, outerwear, or shoes. To receive your 40% off on one item, be there by November 11th. Gary Michaels, 40% off for 40 years, located at 56th and Pine Lake Road, Lincoln.
Is the call I make when I have a need for plumbing services. Whether it's for my home or office, if I need a repair to a water heater, softener, or even my garbage disposal, I know I can count on Action to help. In one simple call, their amazing customer service team promptly schedules a service call, often getting to my needs within a day. Action delivers honest quality services we can count on. To learn more, visit actionlincoln.com.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619. It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln, January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Fall has arrived, and it's the perfect weather for the DIY market to listen to the game while building a deck. Deck City is a great place to start as Lincoln's local source for everything decks. Deck City has everything you need to build the deck of your dreams, from treated lumber to Westbury aluminum railings and Decorators composite decking. They offer advice from real deck professionals to give you proper guidance and to make your project go smoothly. Call them today to schedule an appointment at 402-46671 or go online to deckcityne.com.
Living life to its fullest is just a free consultation away. If you're living with symptoms that you can't shake, then bring your low energy, brain fog, belly fat, grumpiness, muscle loss, and low libido to Limitless Male. We have the expertise to get rid of your symptoms. This is what Limitless Male does all day, every day. You won't find another men's clinic like Limitless Male. We know what you're going through. We know how to fix it. Schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha.
The Stars are back home on November 4th to take on the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at the Icebox. It's the first visit for Cedar Rapids to the capital city since 2019, and it's also military night with a post-game jersey auction to follow. Lock in your seats today by heading to LincolnStars.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 7th is chuck roast for just $5.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We are back. Austin Norman and Eric Strickland with you. 402-464-5685. If you've got any thoughts on the Husker football schedule that just was released, let us know. We'll get to those. But keeping it in the Big Ten here, Strick, but going to the state of Michigan, the town of Ann Arbor. We know there's a lot going on up there. Some new developments today that we're not going to get into. But yesterday, there was a call between all the Big Ten coaches, just normal Big Ten business sort of stuff going on. After that normal part of the call, Michigan coach Jim Harbaugh hung up. The other 13 coaches stayed on the line, and they were essentially given just a chance to vent, to give their input on what's going on at Michigan, what happened, how severe they feel the allegations are for what Michigan was doing. And this call apparently went on for like an hour or 90 minutes or so of just venting and discussing what's going on at Michigan. The ESPN report that I'm reading here by Pete Thamel, his sources say a large chorus of voices encouraged new commissioner Tony Petitti to take action against Michigan. The call was intense and emotional, are the words being used to describe it. One of the sources said, collectively, the coaches want the Big Ten to act right now. What are we waiting on? We know what happened. What do you do if you're Tony Petitti? What do you do? If you're Commissioner Strickland, you take over. What do? You have 13 coaches saying something needs to happen. But Michigan is in the top 4 in the college football playoff rankings right now. They've been there the last couple years. They're the flagship football program. How does Commissioner Strickland handle this?
See, this is tough. because this is the hallmark of his legacy. Already popping off. It's right there in front of him. You're not only thinking about yourself, you're thinking about the health and the wealth of the Big Ten. There's always the desire to want to put multiples. It's similar to like the draft, right? The NBA draft, they throw balls or percentage ping pong.
Yeah,
there's a certain amount of ball. You always want the most opportunity to have more of your teams vying for the shot at the natty, because it only raises the pedigree of your conference. So I can understand apprehension there from Tony Petitti. But on the other side of things, if you don't come down, you have to weigh it out and say, if it was somebody else, how would you have handled it? If this was Rutgers, or if this was Indiana on the football side, if this was Northwestern,
Purdue.
So how are you going to handle? How would you have handled them? And you cannot do it any other way, because you're going to lose the respect, the buy-in from all of these programs, because it's always harder when it happens to the top. This is similar to what's going on in the basketball side with Kansas.
Sure.
Like, a lot of people would want them to come down, but your flagship that's helping to drive the interest into your conference is potentially in trouble. So that's what's scary about the decision that's yet to be made. But me personally, you have to do something. And the something can't be a slap on the wrist. It's got to be something. Even if you don't do it this year, it's got to be something that people can say, okay, I get it. Now, you could forego and forfeit these games that were played where this young man happened to be in. If you do that, then it's going to cost you. But you're going to gain respect and you're going to lose respect. Probably the ones that'll be most hurt and butthurt and angry about it is going to be Michigan fans or the state itself. But at the end of the day, if you want long-term help with newcomers coming, you're going to want them to see you with respect for the decision that you made in this process. So I think you probably need to act.
It's going to be a lot tougher of a pill to swallow in the short term to miss out on getting potentially two teams in the college football playoff with Ohio State and Michigan. I still think one of them is going to knock each other out. I think you agree with that.
Yeah.
But there's still the outside shot. You could have had two teams in the playoff, but you would rather miss it now, because think about the Buku Bucks involved in a 12-team playoff. You want more teams in that playoff than in the 4-team playoff. Right. So if there was a year to miss, to punish, it would be this year. I know there are going to be people on the text line or on stream that are going to say, well, it's not fair to the players. What did they do? They had no involvement in it. I know. And that's why this sucks. The coaches are responsible. The coaches are the adults in the room. They have to know better. They have to, or should have, kept the potential ramifications of this cheating scandal in mind and realized just how unfair it is to their players who are putting the work in, who have helped Michigan climb from Jim Harbaugh's job being in serious jeopardy. Probably would have been gone if not for the COVID year, to being as close to the top of the sport as you can be without getting there, for dominating your rival 2 years in a row after, a long run of success by Ohio State. The easy thing to do for Tony Petitti is to let this slide. It is. Say, sorry, we were doing more information gathering. We needed more facts. We'll just kick the can down the road. That's the easy thing to do. The right thing to do, in my opinion, is at the very least, Michigan can't play in the Big Ten championship game. We went over the college football playoff criteria on Tuesday. The last criteria that that comes into play is conference championships. If Michigan doesn't have a conference championship to claim, that's a big bullet point against them. Maybe they have a good enough resume to still qualify for the college football playoff, but I doubt it. We talked about their cupcake schedule. Say Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship game over, I don't know, Nebraska. Nebraska 9-3 in the Big Ten championship. Anyways, doesn't matter. If Ohio State gets that, it doesn't matter if they win or lose to Michigan. They're the Big Ten champions. They've been playing well. They were rated this high in the rankings anyways. They're probably in.
Especially being number one right now.
Right.
Where they rest.
Right.
And a tough Michigan loss or outside of a blowout. Yeah,
right.
It could be good for them.
But think back as well to how Kevin Warren handled the COVID situation. I don't want to knock the guy and say he was malicious or evil or had it in for certain schools. I think that's a guy who was very new to college football, faced with a situation that none of us have ever faced in our lives before. Looking back, it's easy to say he didn't handle it the best. Seems like there are a lot of obvious missteps that he could have avoided. But if you're Tony Petitti, you can learn from that. You know, the biggest thing is communicate. Communicate with your schools, the coaches, the athletic directors, even the chancellors and presidents. They want their money from multiple teams, or at least a team being in the college football playoff. They don't want their money messed with, right? I'm sure some of them say, it's just football, no big deal. Give us our money. Send Michigan. Go ahead. But that's probably just one, maybe 2, 3 schools. I think most of them would come together under the statement of, if we're going to say we're the conference of integrity, the good old boys conference, and we do things on the up and up, we've had a lot of negative press recently with Northwestern, with Michigan State, and now with Michigan. Okay, Tony Petitti, you have our blessing to put your foot down.
Yeah. I love what you're saying, because let's be real about it. The Pac-10's death sentence was during COVID, when they just was like, we ain't doing that. Right? Yes, you were able to right the ship, but you're absolutely right, man, Austin, is when you have a lot of negativity surrounding your leadership within, it ain't you that's doing it, but there are teams under the guise of your leadership. You have to do something at some point. Sometimes it's like, if you're a teacher, right? In a class, it's not going at the quietest little guy that's sitting in the room, that's very studious, does his work. Yes, he made a mistake, but it's going after the bully.
It's out of character for the quiet kid.
Yeah, it's going after the bully. It's going after the one that's the loudest mouth in the room, handling him, because if you handle him right, everybody else will tighten up. I think this is like that situation.
I'm with you. I mean, if you're going to send a message to the rest of the conference, right now, Michigan is the team that you make an example of. It has to be,
it's
right?
Unfortunate,
it's not Oklahoma State getting a postseason ban. It's Kansas getting the postseason ban instead, something like that. This element of it too, Strick, is why I'm curious to see how Tony Petitti handles it. 2594 asks, can the Big Ten force Jim Harbaugh out of Michigan? Number one, Harbaugh's got a foot out the door. He's working his way to the NFL again, right? That's just the way this is heading. Don't be shocked when it happens. I don't think the Big Ten could or would set that precedent of jumping in and forcing a coach out like that at a conference level. Maybe they suggest to Michigan that that's on the table. The Big Ten, what it can do is, take care of its household, make sure that its business is taken care of. That's why, to me, if they want to let Michigan play the rest of the games on their schedule, fine, but don't let them play in the conference championship game, right? Because the NCAA doesn't run the college football playoff. It's its own committee, right? We've been over that time and time again. I doubt the NCAA jumps in and gets involved in this. I think Michigan's going to probably self-impose something of some sort, or the Big Ten will do it. And then you leave it in the playoff committee's hands. If they think Michigan's resume is still good enough without being conference champions to be in the playoff, okay, that's the college football playoff committee's decision. But we still measure teams in conference titles in college football. That's been something Michigan's planted its flag in. Especially with conference champions basically having an auto bid. The best conference champions get into the playoff. Michigan doesn't have that feather in its cap. That's the big punishment for that university, to not go to 3 playoffs in a row.
And unnamed texter 0196 says, I feel like if this was Nebraska, they would already be trying to punish. Even if the Big Ten didn't, Desmond Howard on ESPN and the whole group would be putting us on blast. But since it's Michigan, they write national power. They are innocent until proven guilty. Now, what you think about that statement?
I get it.
But obviously,
I
Desmond played there, so there's some inherent bias.
I get the sentiment. I think there are a lot of fan bases that would say their conference is against them, because let's not forget that Nebraska is still one of the newer kids on the block, right? Nebraska and the Big Ten are still really feeling each other out. I don't think the Big Ten lived up to Nebraska's expectations outside of the money. And clearly, Nebraska hasn't lived up to the Big Ten's expectations in football, maybe even in some other sports, right? So I think there's a bit of a, let's reevaluate period here. I get it. It's easy to say, oh yeah, the Big Ten hates Nebraska, but Nebraska doesn't do things a Big Ten way. Nebraska was a Big 8 and a Big 12 school for so long. Nebraska got used to doing things that way. Nebraska brought a bit of a different attitude and approach to athletics to the Big Ten that I think Nebraska is still trying to figure out how it works in the Big Ten, and the Big Ten is still trying to figure out how Nebraska works. So maybe, but I also think a lot of that's overblown. I really do. I think the Big Ten does want Nebraska to be good. I think it understands and recognizes the pull that Nebraska could have. I don't think the Big Ten is trying to keep little old Nebraska down anymore.
Mm-hmm. Well, there it is. Good stuff. What do you think?
Let us know. 402-464-5685. We'll take a break. Status of the crossover is up in the air. Jay is doing Big Ten stuff. He will be down at some point for Old School. DP is doing his DP thing. He's busy. So probably just Strick and I for another segment. Hold down till Uncle Kev gets here.
We'll definitely be with Uncle Kev today. Just hold on for that.
Can't wait.
All
Hold
right.
on. Don't go anywhere. Back in a sec.
Living life to its fullest is just a free consultation away. If you're living with symptoms that you can't shake, then bring your low energy, brain fog, belly fat, grumpiness, muscle loss, and low libido to Limitless Male. We have the expertise to get rid of your symptoms. This is what Limitless Male does all day, every day. You won't find another men's clinic like Limitless Male. We know what you're going through. We know how to fix it. Schedule a free consult at limitlessmale.com.
It takes a great game plan to win a football game each week, and right now, it's time to plan a trip to get a new car at Mullen Motors. Just like on the football field, there's a wall of defense on the way to Mullen Motors. 48th Street is under construction from Layton all the way to Cornhusker Highway. But the lot at Mullen Motors is full of tons of great vehicles to drive home this fall for the ultimate touchdown. Mullen Motors, still open through road construction at 48th and Walker.
No taglines, just quality vehicles. Mullen Motors.
Jeff and Nicole Essink on Fitness Fanatics. Jeff and Nicole discuss health and wellness, how to achieve fitness goals, and more through the life of gym owners and gym goers. It's Fitness Fanatics from 9 to 11 a.m. on Sundays on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
The Stars are back home on November 4th to take on the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at the Icebox. It's the first visit for Cedar Rapids to the capital city since 2019. And it's also military night with a post-game jersey auction to follow. Lock in your seats today by heading to LincolnStars.com.
Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness specialize in getting rid of people's pain quickly and permanently. For 31 years, they've been extremely successful with advanced techniques in pain relief using spinal adjustments and decompression, detoxification, diet and lifestyle modification, and more. They are fully equipped to handle the most seasonal athlete, weekend warrior, car accidents, strains, sprains, and more. Is there anywhere you're experiencing pain on your body, or are you fighting decreased energy and depression? Consult Belmont Chiropractic and Novotny Nutrition and Wellness first at 402-476-8619.
A team succeeds when they work together. Banking's no different. At UBT, we're in your corner for every financial move you want to make. Your money's backed by a roster of experts who put in the work to know you and your community. So whether you're opening a savings account, buying a home, or planning your future, you always know who to turn to. Working together toward your financial goals. That's a win in our playbook. Union Bank and Trust. Equal housing lender, member FDIC.
WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to Lincoln. January 12th, 6:45 p.m. Pinnacle Bank Arena.
Let's throw down right now.
See Rey Mysterio, LA Knight, Bobby Lashley, The Street Profits, Charlotte Flair, Io Sky, Carlito, and more. It's WWE's Friday Night SmackDown in Lincoln, January 12th. Tickets start at $25 and on sale this Friday at Ticketmaster.
If you're not going to Memorial Stadium for a home game and don't have any travel plans for away games, there's a great place in Omaha to catch the action, the Inner Rail Food Hall. There's plenty of space. The Backstretch Bar has amazing game specials on game days. $15 Blue Moon and Bud Light pitchers, $6 margaritas, and $6 Moscow Mules. And if you're hungry, take in some of their great options from their game day pizza specials. Do football game day right in the Inner Rail Food Hall in Exarban Village in Omaha. When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bearschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bearschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Whether it's playing on a sports team or creating art, it's important to encourage your kids to explore their interests. I'm Jenny Benson, president of the Nebraska State Education Association. Let your child know you believe in their passions. It can contribute to your child's focus and improve the quality of their schoolwork, too. So show that budding scientist some encouragement by helping them with an experiment or play catch with your baseball enthusiast.
Sponsored by the Nebraska State Education Association, aired by the Nebraska Broadcasters Association and this station.
The Stars are back home on November 4th to take on the Cedar Rapids Rough Riders at the Icebox. It's the first visit for Cedar Rapids to the capital city since 2019, and it's also military night with a post-game jersey auction to follow. Lock in your seats today by heading to LincolnStars.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese at 84th and Havelock. This week's special through November 7th is chuck roast for just $5.99 per pound. And don't forget to check out their Friday feast this week and every week. Plus, don't forget their 2 new locations now open at 30th and Yankee Hill in Lincoln and 168th and Maple in Omaha. Get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Now back to On the Block with Strick and Austin on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
I'm Austin Norman, joined by the 9-year NBA vet, the Husker Hall of Famer Eric Strickland here. We're wrapping up On the Block. Appreciate all of you who've been with us for the last 2 hours here on 93.7 The Ticket, as well as theticketfm.com, Allo Channel 951 as well. Nobody on the Allo VIP line today. I believe we have Andrew Alex tomorrow, though.
Yeah,
correct?
I think we're going to have Andrew tomorrow. Nothing today, but we're going to get in some ACC talk. Usually we try to get him in every, couple of weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of the angle I want to dig in with Alex is, just the falling off of North Carolina, the falling off of Duke,
Mm-hmm.
which leaves you a lone soul. And as we talked about the conference championship, especially in the ACC now, does this hinder, hurt, or, those falling off cause problem potentially down the road for Florida State? They definitely have to run the gauntlet. We know that to be the case. ACC will lose out if they do not run the gauntlet, but will it hurt them with the falling off of North Carolina and Duke? Especially with no emerging strength of Clemson or the Miamis and so forth and so on.
VTech, anything like that.
Yeah.
That'll be tomorrow at 3:30. So stay tuned for that. To the text line we go here, 402-464-5685 again. Josh and Davey said, come on, Austin, Nebraska's adapted to the Big Ten. We lead the conference in rushing. Josh, I hope you're sarcastic there. Yeah, Nebraska's rushing for the most yards per game in the Big Ten, but guess what? Nebraska was also top 5 in the conference in rushing each of Scott Frost's first 4 years, right? I'm not just saying Nebraska's style of play in football, right? You haven't been to a bowl game since 2016. Clearly, you haven't adapted well to the Big Ten recently. Early on, when you were going 9-3 every year under Bo Pelini, sure, on the field, maybe you adapted better, and then you hit a rough patch, and you have to readapt. But I still think, Strick, there's just such a different wavelength and different vibe between how Nebraska operates as an institution, not just as a football team and program, but Nebraska leadership, I think, got so used to... It was socialized in the Big 8 and the Big 12. Is really what happened. It got used to interacting with presidents and chancellors and athletic directors and commissioners over there in a certain way. You can't interact the same way in the Big Ten. There's still, I think, a feeling out process between campus leadership and conference leadership that I think is more where a a shrinking disconnect, but still to some degree a disconnect exists?
I don't even know how to answer that question, Austin, to be honest. I mean, I think it's understandable. I really just don't have an answer for that. It's tough, but it is different. How we deal with it going forward, it's going to change again. I mean, that's what's crazy about it. Like, you're integrating a whole different system of people that have been dealing with their conference in a whole different way as well. So, I don't know, man. That's a tough one.
That's for Trev Alberts to answer, and Rodney Bennett and Tony Petitti, who again also knew it his job. So that's what I'm saying is that football maybe has adjusted better than we give it credit for, especially at the beginning. And that's what I want to get to tomorrow, Strick, as we talk a little Huskers and Spartans. That's a really good series. This is a game, Nebraska, Michigan State, that I wish would be played more. It's been a really fun, entertaining series since Nebraska joined the Big Ten. But when I say Nebraska hasn't fully adapted to the Big Ten, I'm not just talking football and on the field. I'm talking all sorts of sports and off the field as well. There's one other thing on the text line. I'm just going to get it pulled up here. So 0278 says, for the sake of argument, let's say the Big Ten says Michigan can't play in the Big Ten championship game. Michigan beats Ohio State in the regular season, but Ohio State wins the Big Ten championship. Who has the most college football playoff credit?
Quick, say that again.
Michigan beats Ohio State in the regular season, but Ohio State goes to the conference championship game and wins it.
That's again where I get into how. In dominating fashion as it did last year, then you probably got a case. In a close one, last second field goal, last second drive or final drive, then it's a toss up. Then you lose the streak, especially with a weak schedule that you had. Then you're going to lose out because you're not going to have that conference title to throw into the mix as well. So I think that would hurt them. But a dominating win against an Ohio State team that everybody right now believes is number one,
apparently
that could give you a leg up in the eyes of the committee.
Twizzlers asks a fascinating question. I think we're just going to put a pin in on the block here, and we'll move on to old school. But Twizzler, we might get to that here as we start old school. Strick, you did ask in our first segment of the hour about the young wide receivers. We know the names Coleman and Lloyd and Doss. Is there anything else on the roster? Is there anyone else coming? Who are those guys that can step up with another year of development? Let's lead off old school that way, get into that question, and quarterback will come up. It'll tie in because it has to with young receivers. If you missed any of today's show, you're going to want to check it out. We started with Bob Knight. We went through teams that haven't won a championship in a major American sport. Who do we think is next? Husker football schedule release, and then Michigan. Busy show, really good show. Go back, check it out wherever you get your podcast. For Strick, I'm Austin. We're not going anywhere, though. Kevin Meyer's coming in here in just a couple minutes for Thirsty Thursday. We'll await his arrival by talking some Husker football. It's been fun. Like we said, don't go anywhere. We're back with you here in just a couple minutes for Old School.
When you think of places with tons of great beer selections and amazing food menu in Omaha, the conversation should start and end with Bärschen Beer Garden in Benson. With more than 30 beers on tap, including several German options, you're sure to find something you like. And don't forget their Nashville hot chicken sandwich or any of their delicious hamburgers. Start off with the warm house-made pretzels and you're on to a great day at Bärschen Beer Garden in the heart of Benson in Omaha.
Is your backyard ready for fun with friends and family this fall? GE Landscape Supply has pavers and boulders, which are a great accent for any landscaping project. And you can find them at 6701 Cornhusker Highway. GE Landscape Supply sells to homeowners and contractors with a vast selection of landscaping and construction materials. And don't forget, they deliver anywhere, nearby or far away. Stop by at 6701 Cornhusker Highway from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday to Friday. Go to gelandscapesupply.com for more info or call 402-467-1627.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
The Southern Pecan Cake from Beatrice Bakery. They don't just let you call anything Southern, especially when it's baked right here in Nebraska. There are standards you have to meet, like a rich, decadent, moist caramel cake? Check. Bursting with too many large pecans to count? Check. Big enough to share with the whole group? Check. But delicious enough that you won't want to share? A big check on that one. The Southern Pecan Cake, the newest cake to the Beatrice Bakery lineup. Try it for yourself at Beatrice Bakery. Online at BeatriceBakery.com. Welcome to our world of yum.
At Union Bank, people don't have your money. Your money has people. First home people, investment people, people who answer the phone and your chats, dream car people, dream retirement people, driving your dream car in your dream retirement people, small business people, credit card people.